They say they have the answers, but no one's getting better. They say they have the answers. It's always pay to enter and how much more do I have to give? And how much more do I have to give? And how much more do I have to give? And how much more do I have to give? This is it. Life's not infinite. It's the only chance we get. So why are we waiting? Why are we waiting? This is it. Life's not infinite. It's the only chance we get. So why are we waiting?
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. I just decided that I need to just get this off my chest. You know, I need to get it off my chest, and so that I can go forward. So that I can go forward. Good morning, everybody. Heather, RCX, Loretta, Tomcat, Koala. Good morning. A lot of people. I might start the war on on YouTube after this video, after this live stream. And if you want to hit the thumbs up, that's great. If you just want to listen so you can go tell everybody what I said, that's fine too. There comes a point when I've just decided that I don't think that I owe it to anybody to hold back or to sugarcoat it or be a puff puff marshmallow butt for anybody. And I think that it's time that I just let it out. I just let it out. And you all probably know a lot of these folks. You probably do. And people are probably going to be like, "Oh no, OTWP, you're stooping to their level." But am I? Am I like honestly? Am I stooping to their level, or am I just standing up and standing up for what I feels really right? You know, sometimes you have to let things go, and the only way to let those things go is to, avoid certain preppers. And you all probably know who I'm talking about. And I'm gonna call them out, and I really don't give a shit anymore. I was really thinking about this yesterday as I was barbecuing and doing the cook off and stuff, and for survival cooking, and I thought, what? Who do I owe? Who do I owe on YouTube? Do I owe anybody anything? I don't think I do, from what I understand. Um, but so I just decided I'm just gonna let it rip, and if you like me afterwards, you can like me, and if you don't, you don't. Because it is Monday morning, it's March 6th. It's about 6 in the morning, so I'm going to be a little nice, um, but I'm going to put it out there. And you know, the thing is, folks, is like I've gotten those hateful emails and Voxers and phone. I've even gotten phone calls that were pretty hateful. And honestly, I feel like I've bent over backwards for people on YouTube. I have helped promote a lot of little channels when I wasn't that big, and now I'm back to nothing because honestly, somebody really hated me, and they decided to keep on talking until and going back in my channel so much, right, so that they could get me down. But guess what? OTWP is not going to get down. I'm just going to keep going forward. So I want to put this warning out there to each and every one of you. Not all prep individuals are created equal. They're not created equal. And it's really probably in your best interest to stay clear of certain preppers. And if it starts the war on YouTube, well, so be it. But you really want to look for the preppers that and the people in the preparedness community and the homesteading community that are going to help you, right? And there's certain warning signs so you can spot the preppers you probably should avoid at a mile away or maybe 10 miles away or maybe never get close to them in any way, shape, or form. You know what I mean? Because they could be devastating to you, right? Yeah, most definitely, Heather. Moving on up. Thank you, Loretta. Oh, thank you. So here's the list of these preppers that you should avoid. Especially, I mean, think about it. If there's a SHTF, oh my goodness, woo, lordy, you know. And trust me, what I'm about to say is really for your own good. It's really for your own good. It's honestly for your own good. And I care about this channel a lot. I care about the subs that I've lost because someone, helped take my channel down for some bullshit. And I also care about the ones that are still here. So y'all are probably like, oh shit. Well, when it comes to survival and preparedness, I will say this, and I've proven it time and time again that there really is strength in numbers. But there's some preppers you don't want to hitch your wagon to, if you know what I mean. You don't want to hook up with them on YouTube or anywhere. And you definitely, oh my gosh, you definitely don't want the son of a guns in your home. Oh God, I mean, if these type of preppers, if these certain ones were in your home, oh gosh dang, because they're the ones that are going to make like rash decision. They don't take prepping serious. They'll crack under pressure, or maybe they'll just flat out not know how to do shit, right? But they've been talking it, but they just don't walk it. And I know y'all. You're probably like, just let out the list. Should I let out the list or should I just kind of him haw around? I don't know. Well, I am. I'm gonna let the list out. And if you want to run to these other channels and tell them that I said it, well, you can go ahead. Uh, go ahead and do that because I think there's a time and a place that people need to realize that there's different types of preppers. And well, I'm not okay. The newbie prepper. Okay, I let it all out. Okay. Well, first of all, you should know me very, very well by now. And I'm going to point out not prepper names or homesteader names, y'all. I'm, I'm not going to do that, but I do want to talk about this on a serious note. So there's different categories of preppers, and you'll all know exactly what I'm talking about. So there's this newbie prepper, and the prepper isn't bad, but he's new or she's new. And since he's taken his first steps, in the prepping world, he's going to need a lot of help, a lot of help. And the prepper that's new is going to have tendency, a big tendency to become very, very overwhelmed because there's going to be so much to be done, right? And they're really not going to know where to start. And then an SHTF situation happens, and they're not going to pull their weight. They're not going to pull their weight, and you're going to have to pick up their slack. Now, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with the newbie prepper. I'm glad that they're taking steps. But it's just something to be aware of if you have that newbie prepper, right? That newbie prepper in your group, your mag, your local mag. And you all thought I was going to call out names, didn't you? You should know me. You should know me way better by that. Way, way better. But it is really about all these different types of preppers. Now, you probably have seen some of these preppers on YouTube. The commander. Oh, the captain. He's the large and in charge. He's Billy Bass Prepper. And this type of prepper, I'll tell you what, they used fear, 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 and a lot of power trips to get what he wants or she wants. And they're gonna force. Now you got to think about these types of preppers in your mind. Like basically, if you say, "Oh crap, OTWP, that prepper is in my family. That prepper is a part of my local mag." So you may need to address them, right? But think about the commander, captain, prepper, Billy, badass prepper. You know, he's going to be large and in charge. And most people will have one of these in your group, right? And what they're really going to do is they're going to affect the group big time because they're going to create a lot of tension because they don't know how to deal with anything else other than them being large and in charge. So there's a very fine line between being a captain, Billy Badass, and leading people in the right direction. And I think that many people need to realize that if you have that person, right, and they're very abrasive, imagine this scenario that somebody walks up to the group, a man, a woman, and one baby. And you know in your heart, everybody in the group knows in their heart that this is a family that you should take in because all shit's broke loose and they need help. The baby's starving. The baby has diaper rash. The wife looks like she's about to have a nervous breakdown, and the husband's stressed trying to keep it all in together. Now, Mr. Captain Billy Badass, right? He's going to come to the top and be like, no, 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 no. We are letting no more people in our group. Why would we let people in our group? We don't want to let people in our group. And see, this is a huge, huge mistake. A huge mistake. Because what if the roles were reversed? What if you're the one stuck out there? And you've been stuck out there maybe, for a month, 6 months, and you're on the verge of starvation and dehydration, and you're getting to the point that you're feeling pretty sick and alone. See, me personally, me and Dragonflies have talked about a lot of these scenarios, and even though I'm the leader of the household, me and Dragonflies decide a lot of things together. Because when you have multiple people in a household, y'all need to be on the same page. And you need to work as hard as you can, right? To get on the same page. Because it is hard when you have a husband that doesn't want to prep and a wife that does and it causes this tension in the household. And he's used to being Captain Prepper. He's used to being Billy Bass or just the leader of your family. So you got to soften up with them, and you got to find that spot with Mr. Captain Prepper, Mr. Billy Badass, right, to get the tension lower. The tension is going to be so important. Now, on to the next one. We talked about the newbie. We talked about Mr. Captain Billy Badass. And then y'all know one, the homesteader prepper. There's preppers, there's homesteaders, and then there's the homesteader prepper. Well, this type of prepper, they really have the tendency to hunker down more than anything else. Yep, you're right. They grow their own vegetables and fruit, and they probably have a sustainable water supply. Maybe they have firewood like we do out in stacked up. And they might have a great amount of knowledge on homesteading. But the thing is that they you have to take the negative. There's a negative side to that. And the negative side is they are never ever going to want to bug out. They're never going to want to bug out even if it's right at their door because they feel that their home is always the safest. And honestly, folks, I don't want to bug out. Dragonflies doesn't want to bug out. I don't want to get out on the dang road and think, oh my gosh, where are we going tonight? What are we doing, right? But there comes a point for each one of us that we might have to say, Okay, this is it. I have to I got to get out of Dodge, and I got to get out of Dodge right now. And that's why we do the bug out bags, the get home bags. You should have a prepping type bag in your vehicle at all times, because what if that one time you forget that prepping bag at home, you don't take that prepping bag with you and something happens. And see, like I personally believe, it could happen at any time, any type of situation. And maybe it's just one of those situations where, maybe what happened to me, like I was driving from my little farm in Nebraska over to see my mom. I had to get out of the house during a blizzard. Going back to my property, I hit black ice. I went down in the ditch. What if I wouldn't have been able to get my vehicle out? What if I would have had to stay in my vehicle for hours? What if I would have had that blizzard would have got worse? What if I would have had to stay in my vehicle overnight, right? And if that would have happened, and I wouldn't have had any type of supplies, any type of way to stay warm, any of those things, then I could have been SOL, right? I could have been totally shit out of luck and maybe perished. I mean, freezing temperatures are, I mean, it can happen very quickly. The other prepper that I want to talk about is the panicky, weak minded prepper. And on Off the Wall Prepper and OTWP in the Now, we have talked about this so much because, this type of person, they're not going to really make trouble, but they're going to rely on their emotions too much. And it is easy to do. It's easy to get upset. It's easy to get stressed out. It's easy to have a short temper. It's easy to go full throttle and get pissed off, right? Or maybe on the other hand, they curl up in a ball and they start crying, honestly. And they start crying and they're sad and they're freaked out. And we have to look at that person too. And not that we want to completely avoid them, but we have to teach them how to overcome that mental obstacle. See, I think that we've talked so much here at Off the Wall Prepper about mentality, about how you do things, why you should do it, and how to keep your mental stability okay. Because see, without that, myself, I have PTSD. Y'all, if my PTSD goes full throttle, whew, it will not be nice. It won't be nice. Yes, Pilgrim, you're right. Emotions can be a big enemy for anybody. And honestly, if we think about this, in a serious EMP or a war or boots on the ground or total civil unrest across the whole country, my gut's going to drop, your gut's going to drop. We're all going to be like, "Oh, this is it." And our emotions will run high, but the thing is that we have to come back center. Good morning, Copycat and Cherie, Heather, RCX, Loretta, all of you that I missed in the chat. I just really was thinking about this, and you know, there's so many different types of preppers, and I talked about this right before Off the Wall got taken down, right? Is that don't get stuck in stupid. Don't get stuck in just prepping one thing. Some people go overboard. All they're going to do, and this is going to bring up number 5, the gun enthusiast. We all have seen them on YouTube. We've all seen them. And all these preppers ever think about, it's their whole prepping world is guns. Second Amendment, Second Amendment, Second Amendment. Now, I'm not saying that it's a bad situation to have protection, have self protection, but it is a possibility to go overboard with just the Second Amendment and lack in other things, right? So if their focus is always that one priority, the Second Amendment, when the SHTF happens, they are going to be very ill equipped, right? Ill equipped in other areas because there's certain preppers that are just gun obsessed. I mean, they're just obsessed with guns. They don't want to think about any other skills. And honestly, folks, they're going to lack in a lot of ways. They're going to lack in processing animals. They're going to maybe possibly lack in having a get home bag, being able to bushcraft, being able to forage. So that's something to think about. And I think uh, we have one that is big. That is a big problem prepper, and it is the accidental prepper. Right, see, the accidental prepper, a lot of them happened in 2019 with COVID. A lot. Boy, did a lot of accidental preppers happen. And these people aren't really prepared, right? Because they're truly, they might just be well organized. They might have got every gadget, doodad, and this and that. They might have a well stocked first aid kit, maybe a drawer full of flashlights and batteries, but, and those are great things. They are. But a true SHTF situation, that's not going to be enough. See, these accidental preppers are short term, and they're only prepared for mild little disasters that are easy to predict, like a tornado, a hurricane, um, civil unrest in my town, in my neighborhood, that type of thing. But when it comes to the unexpected emergency, a major disaster, they're going to have a very, very hard time surviving it. So this brings me to probably my favorite. This probably brings me to my favorite prepper that you really need to think about is the bragging prepper. This type of prepper, okay, yeah, and you might have went to one of these bragging preppers on YouTube. They pride themselves on how prepared they are for the apocalyptic event, the total collapse, Mad Max, and he finds it hard to keep his mouth shut about anything, anything. And see, the problem with this is that there's going to be groups that are definitely going to come for these folks. They're going to definitely come for them, and you wouldn't want to be with them or near them when that happens, would you? See, would you want to be with them? Not me personally, because every single person they know knows they have this amount of food and this amount of water and this amount. And see, I tell things, but you all probably know about 20% of me, of what's going on when it comes to my prepared life or prepared lifestyle. Because that's really important. Good morning, coffee first, then speak. Nice to see a lot of you finding your way back over here. I'm glad you found. I'm glad you found this. But you got to think about that person because, man, they've told everybody and their brother and their sister and their great uncle and aunt every single prep they had, all of them. Now, I'm gonna bring this up, and y'all might chuckle. There is this prepper, and it is a category. It's the sheep. It's the sheep prepper. And this prepper really honestly believes that nothing's wrong and nothing ever will go wrong. And they splurge all their money on things instead of tightening their belt, thinking about what could happen, and preparing a little bit for a disaster, getting that insurance policy. And I'll tell you what, folks, if you partner up with the prepper that's a sheep, the sheepy prepper, right? You're going to have some major issues. Major, major issues. Most likely, you're going to have to pick up the slack every time you turn around. And when you turn around and you see them, you're going to be like, "Oh, here they come again. What's now? You can have sheep country prepper 19. I hope you can stay for a minute. I got something to announce here about you. Yes, about you, country prepper 19. So, it's really important though to think about these different types of preppers, because they could get you in trouble, but you could also learn to work with them so that you stop the chaos before there is a SHTF and they cause your group, your mag, problems. Good morning, Beth D. So glad to see y'all. All right, we got to talk about it. Mrs. Mertz, Y'all know about Mrs. Mertz. I always talk about my Speedo and I talk about Mrs. Mertz. See, Mrs. Mertz is the parasite. She's the nosy prepper. She is. And really, the Mrs. Mertz is really probably, in my book, the most dangerous prepper type you could have around you. See, because they kind of know stuff about you and they live and they want to live off of you and your stockpile. And they want to find comfort in your bug out location. And see, they didn't take any steps, even though everybody and their brother's been telling them. They just sat around because they knew that you were doing it. Maybe it was the one that was over there that day when you got that Amazon package or My Patriot Supply package or OTWP Survival package. And they said, "Oh, what's that?" And you told them. Or maybe they watched you carry a huge haul into your garage and they know exactly what you got. They watched you. They came up and talked to you while you unloaded $400 worth of groceries or a new gun or maybe a new lantern. And they were kind of drawn back and they had to question you about it. Maybe it's that Mrs. Mertz that's always looking over your fence. Maybe it's that Mrs. Mertz at work that always wants to ask you what you're doing, why you prepping for, what's going on. They are probably the most dangerous one. And I think that not only are they dangerous, but they're a huge, huge liability because they don't want to do crap. All they want to do is live off of you. Live off of you. But this person is also dangerous because, for example, one of these types of preppers, this nosy Mrs. Mertz over the fence tool time Tim is looking. And all of a sudden you decide you're going to be nice and you're going to let them come in. And they come in and next thing you know, there's civil unrest and there's martial law. But see, you're smart enough. You've made a plan. You're kind of still out and about doing your things in the afternoon or night or whatever time you've figured out would be the safest for you. See, they're really a liability because when somebody knocks on your door, they're going to rat you out for their benefit to save their own ass. And that prepper, that nosy Mrs. Mertz, tool time Tim looking over the fence kind of shit, could be devastating. Devastating for all the times that you have stored food, stored water. Yes, well rounded first aid kit, Second Amendment, some other security protocols intact. And they're going to be dangerous as shit. They're going to be the ones. I think that would be the one that there's two of them. That one and the other one is just Mrs. Fake. Right? And what Mr. or Mrs. Fake, see, they're a little different than Nosy Rosie because they hope that you'll give out so much information that they don't have to do nothing. And then when the time comes, they're kind of also considered that lone wolf because when the time comes, they're going to come over and they're going to push their way through your door and they're going to take your shit, right? They're going to take it. And when they take it, it's going to be all hell breaks loose because they probably got 75 of those little suckers. They probably got a big tribe of that type of prepper. Huh. Something to think about. Yeah, the leech prepper. Yeah, leech, nosy, uh, Mr. or Mrs. Mertz. Uh, There's so many different types of preppers. But I really brought this up today because yeah, yep, they're going to narc out everything you're doing. Yep, Ron Reno left the house. I seen him leave, even though we were on lockdown. And see, this comes back into WW2 and the mentality. Or if you've never seen the movie 1984, it comes back into that mentality is I'm going to tell on my neighbor to benefit myself, right? So that's something. Good morning, Shannon. You missed the first 30 minutes talking about. the preppers. So when you think about that person, think about if you've never seen 1984, strange movie, interesting, but basically the government, the big brother syndrome, got everybody at each other's throats and got each other to tell on each other about everything. So Ron Reno, he knows he has to go get certain medicine for his grandchild. But the leech prepper, the fake prepper, Mrs. Mertz, the nosy prepper, the one that could just like tool time Tim, up over the fence. What are you doing over there? He's going to rat you out. He's going to rat you out, Ron, even though you're trying to do something good for your family. And he's going to want every single freaking thing you got. See, because he's only doing it for status quo so that he can look better in the authorities' eyes, whoever that may be at the time. And then he's hoping that you'll get arrested, you'll get taken away, maybe to a FEMA. I don't know, maybe. But anyway, he's hoping to then settle into all the stuff you've prepped up. Uh oh. Silver lining of not feeling good. Well, we're glad you're here. I'm glad y'all are here. These are just some things to think about. I bet you people are coming in here thinking, "Oh my gosh, OTWP's at it again, going to go off and, uh, and say all this stuff about prepper names." But y'all should know me by now. There's always a reason I say things, and it really is to avoid those preppers that could cause harm, chaos, and confusion to your life. And maybe you don't want to avoid them. Maybe they're a family member. And maybe it would be better to bring them a little closer, teach them some more skills. Like, I really appreciate that about Raven Laughs. She's been an anchor of our community here at Off the Wall Prepper, OTWP, the old channel, the new channel, since it started. And she made me really think about it one night when we were playing Scenario. And she said, everybody has something they can contribute. And I thought about that and I was like, you know what, Raven? I have to give a big prepper hug to her, y'all, because she made me realize that everybody does have something to contribute. See, every single one of us, no matter if we're old, overweight, fat, uh, not feeling too good, sleepy, whatever it may be, we have skills. And I'm gonna try to bring people in and not pinhead. I love it, Pilgrim. um, I'm gonna try to bring people into my mag because there is more security, more power, more scavenging, more foraging, more everything when you have a larger mag. There really is. And I think that's important. Two or four eyes is going to be rough. Two eyes is going to be really rough because you're going to have to sleep. You may be working out in your garden and the SHTF happens or the world as we know it is completely gone. And you're working out in your garden and two or three guys approach you or two or three women armed approach you. And so if you're not ready for, how are you going to defend yourself? But if you have that extra set of eyes in the house, in the cabin, in your apartment, around the corner, it sure makes things a lot easier. Plus you're going to have to sleep, right? Oh, I don't know who you're talking about, Pilgrim. I don't know who Pinhead is then. I thought you were talking about somebody else. I don't know who that is. And honestly, Pilgrim, you'll realize that about me. I don't bash other channels because I think everybody has something to contribute. It might not be the way we like it, but see, YouTube's a big world. And the best thing that people can do when they find that division prepper is to click off. I would appreciate if you take that out of my chat, Pilgrim, or one of my mods take it out. I would like you to retract that. I'd like you to retract that, please. Um, I am not going to point out, or talk like that about anybody because, see, I have to disagree with you a little bit. Um, is that I have to disagree with you a little bit about that certain person. He was on my old show. He was on my old channel, and he has some good knowledge. Yes, sometimes he talks some things he shouldn't, but everybody does. People get over emotional. I don't want to see division. That's my big thing. I don't want to see division with people. I want to see unity. I want to see people really bringing something to the plate. So that being said, I have something I'd like to announce. Each month, uh, here at OTWP in the Now, there's no more report. It's just OTWP in the Now, right? So there's something we're going to do each month, and it's March 6th. So I would like to announce these people for the month of March, and these are the only people that their channel will be dropped in the chat. Vanning with Ada is a featured March channel. Dragonflies Ozark Homestead. Rules for Thee. To me, he'll always be Puddle of Souls. Hooga Hooga Homestead. Country Prepper 19. Zombie Prepper and Roaming Prepper. There's 5 more slots, and these are called Do the Dang Thing featured channels. So if you're a mod, you can go to the channel lineup, and I'm going to show this real quick. A lot of people do not know how to navigate. Hi, Miss Sherry. A lot of people do not know how to navigate around YouTube. So I want to show you a few things real quick. When you go to the actual channel, right? When you go to the actual channel, up at the very top, you're going to see videos, shorts, live, playlists, community, how to join as a member. There's a button right here to join. And then down here, though, click community. And this is where I post a lot of things. And today, there's the lives. I'll post the lives out there. I'll post different stuff just to let y'all know what's going on. But then if you come over here to channels, this is our new feature that I just added this morning. And these are our new OTWP Doing the Dang Thing channels that are featured for March of 2023. And so if mods, it's real easy. If you would like to drop links throughout the chat, I don't want to bring Nightbot back. I don't. All the bot shit can stay out of our channel, right? So Vanning with Ada's on there. Our very own Dragonflies Ozark Homestead. Puddles, Rules for Thee. Hooga Homestead. And Country Prepper 19. I've also added Zombie Prepper. His channel got wiped out. It got hacked somehow. Y'all, let's go over there and do a love raid. When you support these channels, say OTWP sent me. And the Roaming Prepper, I want to give a big shout out to Pete. When he found out what happened to Off the Wall Prepper, he was a little distraught because I want to say this about Pete. Myself, Texas Redleg, Cold War Prepper, and Farmer Son, we had a phenomenal time doing a live stream. It was called the Battlefield Board. And it's actually saddens me that those live streams are gone. I cannot find them anywhere. I'm still digging. But we had some wonderful lives. We had hundreds of people in there listening and truly learning things. And when Pete found out, Roaming Prepper found out what had happened to my channel, he reached out to Dragonflies on Instagram. And he has such a good heart, man. He shouted me out on his channel. He's continuing to shout me out on his channel. And also, I will be adding FSP to this list. I just didn't get it all done because FSP, Farmer Son Preppin', is a really down-to-earth guy. He's really down to earth. He's a really good guy. He shows a lot of gadgets, a lot of gear, and he's just a good old boy from Alabama. And he's very faith-based. But I'm going to add FSP on there. So Beth D and any of my mods, um, throughout the live streams. You can just go to that, and anybody that wants to check out their channels, you can go to that. And this is my way of featuring their channels for a whole month. We're going to show their videos. We're going to talk about them. We're going to invite them to panels. And it's just my way of giving back. I want to do something a little different. Um, yeah, FS Pre, when I first met him, he has a hard time seeing, and he does have a disability. I believe Stewart's does too, and Simon Templar. There's many, but they keep on doing the legwork. And so I'm going to be adding FSPs in there. I would love that you all go over and you join their channel if you don't know them, and make sure you say OTWP sent me, because I want them to know that I care about them and that they're a featured channel. Most of them will know, right? Most of them will know. Uh, but the thing is that we need to support each other and lift each other up. I agree with you, Pilgrim. I see it too many times in the prepping community on YouTube, people tearing each other down. And, I may do something different than you do, or Stewart's prepping may do something different than I do. But that's the beauty of community. That's the beauty of actually having a social media platform that we can talk about preparedness. And I think it's very important that we all come together and don't become a part of the chaos and the division. The chaos and the division is not where we need to be. So I do go over and I watch these channels, and I hope you will too. And I still have 4 spots. Um, if there's anybody that would like to nominate a channel, we're going to have that put up as a poll, or maybe just as where you can just nominate someone. Thank you all. Thanks, mods, for dropping the links. Thank you. Copycat, I can't take it. You have been our official greeter since forever. Copycat, please come back as our greeting mod. You've always been so friendly, and you always help the channel by saying hello to people. That's all we need you to do. So I made you a mod, Copycat. I hope you'll accept being a mod again, because you're an anchor here, and I care about you a lot. So please, Underdog Copycat. That's a personal thing between me and Copycat. She knows what I'm talking about with the Underdog. Please, Copycat, come back as mod and accept that. Yeah. Oh, it is, Sherry. I think it's really important. It is really important. Yep. Right. And I agree with that too, Ron. I mean, you know, there's some channels that it's okay, Copycat, when you're here, you're our official Walmart OTWP greeter. Thank you, Copycat. Thanks for coming back. I guess that means you accept. Whenever you're here, don't be obligated. You got a veteran to take care of. You got things to do. And Ron, I agree with you, man. So many times people want to bicker over, or it. It's kind of like what I was talking about with these different style of preppers. Is that you go into their prepping channel, and if you're not doing it their way, well, then you're full of shit. You're not good enough. You're not this. You're not that. Right? That's not the way we should be. Because honestly, folks, everybody has something to contribute. And everybody has the right to do their channel the way they want to. Copycat, you think that's funny? Yeah. Thank you, Betty. Drop them like it's at. But, I really hope that each one of you thinks about these different prepping type people I told you about. And it doesn't mean that I'm saying avoid them like the plague. Really, honestly, what I'm saying is that identify them, figure out who they are, figure out what category they would go into, and work on that category. I mean, if they're Mr. Captain Billy Badass and they're going to boss you around to the point that you're going to get upset, it would be a good thing to address it now before a SHTF happens, and you're stuck with them. And then you're upset all the time and causing yourself more tension and stress. You know what I mean? So that's something that's really important. I hope that y'all enjoyed the live this morning. Probably wasn't what people expected. I'm sure it wasn't. And but I am off the wall prepper. I look at things differently because I think that so many people have something to give to this community, and we all have to do the legwork. And honestly, like if you don't like somebody on YouTube, you don't have to bash them. You don't have to go around and talk about them. Just click off their channel and don't go back. A lot of people don't like OTWP. They don't like my channel because I have faith, I have comedy, I am just me. And some people learn to appreciate that and some don't. And some don't get it. Some don't understand how I can be so happy. Some don't understand how I can't be, why I'm not stressed on a daily basis. It's because I'm centered and focused on going forward, not getting stuck in the bullshit. So I hope that you all really start enjoying OTWP in the now because we all know them, the ones you got to avoid, those crazy preppers. Everyone have a great day. I'm going to play a song on the way out. And, what are you waiting for? Stop waiting. Do the dang thing daily. And be it if people like it or they don't like it, the most important thing is be you. Be you. Prep the way you want to prep. Learn the skills from people that'll bring them to you. And last night we had our kickoff. We had our kickoff for our survival cooking. It was a little different. It was a lot of fun. It was the first barbecue, and it was the kickoff barbecue for the survival cooking. But we're going to be out in the forest. I'm going to be cooking on all different kinds of stoves. I'm going to be showing you how to set them up, how to set up emergency cooking, all kinds of things. And then our other new part of OTWP is Fishing Missouri. And I'm going to take y'all fishing all over the state of Missouri with me. And I really hope you enjoy the spring fishing. I like to late night fish, and I fish with a bell. So I have to show you how I fish with the bell. But it's time to break out the fishing poles, stock up on some catfish and bass. Maybe I'll get lucky and get on some crappie. But I'm going to take y'all fishing with me. We're going to be fishing Missouri, and we're going to be doing survival cooking all spring. And I really am looking forward. I at first I was kind of sad, and I'm going to say this one last time. I was sad about Off the Wall Prepper. I worked very hard to get 13,000 subs, over a million views. But now I'm looking at it as a new opportunity. And that's what we have to look at life each and every day that we get up, that it's a new opportunity for prepping. You may be prepping something that you have questions about, and I'll always try to answer them. I am going to bring back a couple nuclear series because I can't find those either. And I think they're very important with the situation that this country's in and how other countries are preparing and this country's not. So I am going to bring back a couple nuclear series, especially facts versus myths and nuclear gear. So there's also another new part of the channel coming out. You'll know by the thumbnails exactly what it's about, but there's going to be a lot of gear reviews. So I'm really looking forward to this new adventure with all of you. And thank you for all the new memberships. Thank you for being here. And the super chats, the stickers, the cards, the letters, and just being you. God bless y'all from here in the Ozarks to wherever you're at. Make today count. It's March 6th. It's 7 o'clock. We have plenty of time to do stuff today. I might see you tonight. Oh, one thing I wanted to mention real quick is if you see the Hulk or Al Capone or whatever it may be with my face on it and it's kind of a comical, fun thumbnail, that means it's either comedy, music, or just a hangout. So I still want to have those with you, but I also want to bring a lot of programs. So if it's a program, then you will see these type of thumbnails with the orange around me. You'll see them. And you'll be able to differentiate very easily what kind of show it is because some people don't like that part. And then if you see just the banner of OTWP, that is our walk in faith, not fear. And that is our Sunday get together, or maybe Wednesday or Tuesday, whenever I feel like doing it. God bless y'all. I hope the lineup is a lot easier to understand. And if you only want to be involved in a certain part of the channel, I hope you do that. At this time, the show's over, but I am going to play a couple songs to bring us back around center. And remember, avoid those preppers that just want to talk down to you. Avoid those preppers that may cause you a lot of grief. But get to know them, and maybe you can turn them around. Oh, and Ron Reno, I just did the first thumbnail for the midnight hour for Conspiracy Night. So you'll know exactly by the thumbnail what kind of show we're having. I'll see y'all soon. Big prepper hugs, and God bless each and every one of you. Oh, from our little cabin to wherever you're at in this big world.
Life is a winding road, no telling where it goes. Driving through days and nights, won't stop for traffic lights. And I really wanna know if I will ever figure out where the road goes. Even if I'm falling down, I will keep on searching for my highs. You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high. Even if the sky is falling down. Jumping from cliffs so high, trusting our wings to fly. Sometimes we're crashing down, but we get up and start from the ground. And I really wanna know if I will ever figure out where the road goes. Even if I'm falling down, I will keep on searching for my highs. You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high. Even if the sky is falling down, even if the sky is falling down, yeah. The sky is falling down. Even if the sky is falling down, even if the sky is falling down, yeah. The sky is falling down. This is it, life's not infinite. It's the only chance we get. So why are we waiting? Why are we waiting? Will it click? Looking for the next new fix. Is this the new kind of sick? Why are we waiting? Why are we waiting? They say they have the answers, but no one's getting better. They say they have the answers. There's always pay to enter. And isn't life funny? some money, spend it all to feel less crummy, and think that we've made it. Think that we've made it. Well, what else? Sit by ourselves, think about the hands we're dealt and all our guilt. Think that we've made it. Think that we've made it. They say they have the answers, but no one's getting better. They say they have the answers. It's always pay to enter and how much more do I have to give? 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 This is it. Life's not infinite. It's the only chance we get. So why are we waiting? Why are we waiting?